Bonjour, c'est Claire at French in the Midlands. Hello, Claire at French in the Midlands here. This video is about words that are used in the wrong way by English speakers, French words. And they kind of mean the same in French and English, but they're not used in the same way. Let's have a look. The most common mistake I hear is people who use the word compléter when they mean finir. Compléter does not mean to complete in French. So if you want to say I completed my work, you need to say j'ai fini mon travail, because that's what you mean, you finished your work. Don't say j'ai complété mon travail, it doesn't mean anything. Compléter means to fill in a form. So if you say to me j'ai complété mon travail, it means I filled in my work, it doesn't mean anything at all. So j'ai fini mon travail is what you need to say, always. The next one I hear all the time is the word busy, which is occupé in French. People use occupé for anything, but in French it only applies to a person. So if you want to say work is very busy, you need to say j'ai beaucoup de travail, because that's the idea you're translating. You're not translating the words. You're translating the idea that you have a lot to do at work, therefore you're very busy. You can't say mon travail est très occupé, because it would mean mon travail is a person, and it's not the case. So these are the two, compléter and occupé, that are used wrong all the time. Try and remember those two in particular. So for this one, the word confortable. Confortable is an attribute of an object. If you're a person, you can't be comfortable. If you want to say I'm comfortable, you need to say ce fauteuil est confortable. This chair or armchair is comfortable. You can't say je suis confortable. It's completely meaningless. You're not an object. Interesting, this one, the word tard, which means late. Tard in French is an attribute of time, if you like. It's late or it's early. You can't be late, you can't be early in the same way. So the word tard itself is not for a person. If you want to say I'm late, you need to say je suis en retard. Not je suis tard. Je suis tard doesn't mean anything whatsoever. It's only for the time of day. So for instance, if you want to say it's getting late or it's late, then you would say il est tard. But it's kind of an impersonal thing. Nobody can be just tard. You only en retard if you're a person. So exactly the same, for the same reason, tôt, which means early, is not for a person. If you want to say I'm early, you will need to say je suis en avance. En avance. Not je suis tôt. Je suis tôt doesn't mean anything. Same for tard. It's only for the time of day. So if you need to say I get up early, then je me lève tôt is fine. Because you're not the one who's early. You get up early. Interesting, this one. I added it because we had a conversation about it with a few students, and we regularly have this conversation when we come to translate to eat out. In English, it's easy. You eat out. It's actually very vague. It doesn't tell you where you're eating, but it's enough to convey the meaning. In French, there is no way you can have that. That doesn't mean anything. So if you want to say I ate out, you need to say j'ai mangé au restaurant. You need to be more specific and say where you ate. So au restaurant means out, but out could mean anything else. We assume it's au restaurant because that's where you eat. You can absolutely not say j'ai mangé dehors, because that would mean you were there with your plate and your glass and you ate outside the house. Basically, remember that you cannot translate to do something out, to go out, to eat out. You cannot translate the out on its own. The out is already in the verb, or you have to specify what it is. If you want to say I went out, you would say je suis sorti, because to go out is one verb. But to eat out, we don't have a verb in French, so you have to say where you ate, therefore in the restaurant. The same goes for this one. When you say, oh, I stay in. If you say that in French, people will think you stayed inside all day. So if you want to say I stayed in, you need to say je suis resté à la maison. I stayed in the house. Again, you have to be more specific. In is too vague. In what? In where? Don't say je suis resté dedans. That means I stayed inside of, and then I'm waiting inside of what? Inside the boot of the car. It could be anything. Je suis resté à la maison. Just remember. Again, for verb plus out, verb plus in, you can't translate it as you do in English. You've got to translate the idea that you stayed at home. I hope that was clear enough. If you have any comment, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and anything else, go to FrenchinTheMidlands.com. À bientôt!